Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We got a new bike, like always, every single week we got something new. And this is a bike from Engwe. This is the X24. Now you guys might have seen videos similar to a bike like this, the X26. Basically the X26 has 26-inch wheels. This has 24-inch wheels. They're also going to be coming out with an X20 soon, I believe. I don't think they have it yet. But this is a huge tank of a bike. If you can see me standing next to it, this thing is absolutely insanely big. And if I sit on it, and I am about 5'9", 5'10", this is still a very big bike for me. Look, my feet don't even touch the ground unless I stand on my tippy toes. So definitely not for short people, but this has a lot of features going for it. So you got triple suspension right here, shock absorber right here, rear suspension right here. 2 batteries as well. So you have a battery right here in the seat post that goes all the way down to the bottom. Then you have your secondary battery right here. Now the X26, the batteries had to be plugged in separately, but I believe this one, they run together because there's no separate plug on this one. So I believe they run down exact same time, which is a huge upgrade from the 26. But the bad thing is, I was looking at this bike overall and I was like, it has a seat in the back. And I was like, where's the pegs? Where do you put your feet? What is this made for? Is this just to put a basket on top of the seat? Because you would think it'd be for someone to ride with you. So you can sit like this and they can put their feet up and they can, you know, enjoy the ride with you if you got to hike somebody or whatever, go to the store, whatever you got to do. But I don't know where they would put their feet. So would they just have them up in the air? I don't know. That was a big con to me when I got this bike. But for the most part, this has so many features. I'm going to bring you in here with a camera and we're definitely going to check it out and then take it for a ride. All right, so let's start off in the back, and we're gonna see we have the rear motor right there. That is 1200 watts. This is a 48-volt system e-bike. You also got a tail light sitting right here as well. I think it works with the brake lights. Huge fat tires on it as well. I don't think they're puncture resistant. I'm a little worried about getting a flat on them, but we'll see when we take it. Big chain ring right in the front, and then you're gonna see how low this battery comes down as well. This is a 19 amp hour battery going all the way to the top, and it is removable as well. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass because you do have to take this off and unthread it. Then you have to get the special keys that I do have hanging on the bike sitting right there, and you have to come over here and loosen this up. Then you can undo the latch, and that's how you lift the seat up and down, but then you can also take the battery completely out as well if you want. Moving on to the front, this is where we're gonna have the huge logo to represent the company, and then you're gonna have your battery inside there as well, which is 10 amp hours. So to put those in perspective, both of them together is 29 amp hours in total. That should give you 1400 watt hours. That's a lot of battery for a bike this size. I also turned on the secondary battery, which you don't have to, but you just hit that little button right underneath the seat and that will activate the second battery. But you don't have to run that if you don't want to. So I can show you that I could turn that battery completely off. I could come up here and I'll show you the front and everything. Look, the logo turns onto the bike, and if you guys are very familiar with the Aerial Rider Kepler, this uses the exact same display, so very easy to get along with if you're kind of familiar with some older e-bikes. So this is running right now is this battery. And if you want to use the other one, just hit that green button like I said. So here is how the display looks. Pretty simple. I like how they have the percentage right there. I don't know if it goes off a voltage tag or not. We'll find out in a little bit. You do have your throttle on the left-hand side. It's always weird to get used to that, but once you ride for a couple miles, you'll get used to it. You got, they're like fake leather grips on this side. They're locking. Not a huge fan of these grips, but I mean, the fact that they lock, I'll give them a plus for that. The bars rise up ever so slightly. They're very nice. You got your 8-speed right here, so you can shift through the gears. So it should be pretty comfortable to not feel like you're ghost pedaling up to probably like 25 or 28 miles per hour. We'll just have to see when we're actually riding it. You do have some very good cable management in the front as well, which I'm very surprised about. I actually like how they did that. And then you have your hydraulic brakes on both sides. Highly appreciated hydraulic brakes. There's no label on them whatsoever, but I'm okay with that. They feel really good in the hands. We'll just see how it brakes later. And then you have your little headlight right on the front with a reflector right underneath it. We're definitely gonna have to see how that works as well. We'll do that in a separate video when I take it to work, and we'll see how it is. But one thing I feel like this bike has everything, but it's missing one thing, and that's fenders. I really wish this bike would have had some type of fenders, especially since they're kind of labeling this as an off-road vehicle. You're gonna get splashed with tons and tons of dirt and water if you're gonna go off-road. So that's one thing I feel like they missed. You can ride this bike with 330 pounds of a rider limit, so that's a pretty high number. So most of you guys will not have a problem riding this bike. and it should be that high because it is a massive ass bike. It's so huge. If you see it in person, it's absolutely insanely huge. I really want to take this thing for a spin, so we're gonna put the GoPro on right now and go see how it is, because right now I'm kind of up and down about how I feel about the bike, but the riding impression is gonna give me my best impression if it's actually worth the money or not. So let's go do that and let's go check it out and give you my final feedback at the end. Peel this off. Ooh, so satisfying always doing that. Okay, I just noticed that it has an ambient sensor right there. So that means that the headlight should turn on and off depending on if it's dark or daytime. So that is super cool. And also notice it has a zero mode as well. So if you just want to pedal this bike without any assistance whatsoever, you could do that. Or if you need to push it for whatever reason. But I like the fact that it has a mode number 0. Some bikes don't have that, so that's super cool. But anyway, let's get on the way and check this thing out. All right, so the first thing I like to do on these bikes when we have a full battery charge before we lose battery percentage is see what our top speed is. And right now it's showing me 26 to 27 miles per hour. I'm expecting more out of this bike. I'm recording the GPS as well, so I'll get the top speed with an official app on the phone to verify this. But right now, it's not going that fast. Okay, so I pulled over to the side really quick and I held the middle I button, and now it's in sports mode. So I actually think now it's gonna go faster because there's a normal mode and a sports mode. So now let's test this thing out and it should go faster. 26, 27, 28. Still taking a while to get up there, folks. 29, are you gonna give me 29 or not? Come on. All right, well there's 29, almost 30. But no, it's not gonna give us 30. Let me check my phone and see how accurate that is. All right, the moment of truth. 29.9, so I'm gonna give it a pass. That's 30 miles per hour. They say a max of 31. It's probably gonna depend on your weight as well. So I'm around 165 to 170 pounds. So if you're a little bit lighter, you're probably gonna reach 31, but we're not too far off. And actually, that's pretty accurate. So I'll give it to them on the speedometer for that. And let's continue this trip. You know what would help is turning on the secondary battery. So I just turned on the secondary battery and I'm noticing the battery bar is going up. If you guys can see that, check that out. Wait, how do we get back into sports mode? Is sports mode locked when you put the other battery on? What's up with that? Now I won't go into sports mode anymore. Interesting. Let's see if we can go into the setup. Set units, so we want miles per hour. You can do kilometers if you want. Set brightness. Auto, okay. Auto's cool, I mean, because it has a sensor on there, so that's pretty cool. Auto power off. Speed limit. Oh, it's already maxed out for me. Okay, so I don't know if the company did that for me because I'm a reviewer, or if they have it sent like that out of box. But I think they come as class 2, if I'm not mistaken. So here's your auto headlight on and off using that sensor. Then the power set, so 0 to 5. So 5, it gives you 99% of the power. All right, you could change that if you, oh, that's cool. You can go in here and change each single one of them. So P1, you can only have 10%. And then P5, you can have it, I'm gonna do 100%. Yeah, baby. Yeah, it's cool. All right, well, at least I know that. But yeah, I can't get into sports mode anymore. So let's see how fast it goes now. It's telling me my power as well. We're pushing almost 1,500 watts. It's saying about 1,450. It's not too bad. Definitely feels like the bike is a little bit more better with that secondary battery connected. It's probably because the voltage sag is not so low anymore. But I'm not seeing 30. I'll continue on this next street. What are you doing? You can't make a U-turn there on a double yellow, buddy. Anyways, back to the speed test. 27. Come on, 28. Come on. Man, that is so weird. Once you turn on that secondary battery, you can't go as fast. I don't get that. It definitely feels like it has more pickup speed. Oh man, come on. Okay, thanks man, thanks. Didn't even pay attention to me at all. Didn't even look. Well, I think I'm gonna turn off the secondary battery because I wanna go faster. So now that the secondary battery's turned off, can I go back into sports mode? How can I not get in sports mode now? Let me go into sports mode. I am so lost on why I cannot get into the power setting anymore. That's weird. So anyways, we're gonna have to do this test and everything like that in normal mode until I can figure out how to get in the sports mode again. I don't know. So anyways, this is where we do our 0 to 25, 28, 30, whatever we can reach on a bike without pedaling. And then when we get to the next intersection, we will pedal. So I'm gonna actually drop the gears down so I can get ready for the next section. But here we go. So 1, 2, 3, throttle only. $15, $18, $20, $22, $24, $25, $26. All right, we barely hit 26 before we ran out of road. This kind of sucks, to be honest. I'm sure if it was in sports mode, it'd go a little bit faster. It definitely felt faster, but I can't get into that mode anymore. I'm trying, guys, I'm trying. It's just not letting me do it anymore. I don't know what happened. Anyways, now we're just gonna use the pedals only. I have it in 1, we're gonna go all the way up to 8, and I'll also tell you how it feels when ghost pedaling when we hit a certain mile per hour. So let's try that out. 1, 2, 3. Come on, pedals, work. Ooh, that was a huge delay. We'll test them out a little later, but all right. 15 miles an hour. Oh, I gotta shift through these gears. I'm ghost pedaling. Gears felt perfectly fine. 22, 23, 24. All right, so right at about 24, 25, I'm ghost pedaling. Now 26, 27, 28. Come on. I see that's not giving me full power. It's definitely not giving me full power. What's up with that? You know what I'm starting to think now? Let me go back into the power settings and change it to 99% instead of the 100% we did on mode 5, and let's see if it lets us go back in the sports mode. All right, back to 99%. Let's see if this changes anything. It's gonna be crazy if it does. Eco normal. What the Come on, bike, what the heck? All right, so that's walking mode. So if you need to walk this bike at all, I'll show you really quick. So just hold the down minus button. Oh God, it takes off pretty fast. It gives you 250 watts right off the bat. So make sure you're a fast walker if you do that. I just wanna get it into the power setting again. I give up, guys. I give up. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, but let's just continue this review. So going back and talking about some other stuff on this bike that I've noticed, it's very comfortable. You got huge fat tires on it. It's 4 inches wide by 24 inches tall. Absolutely insanely comfortable. I think I have these things aired up to 20 PSI. I think that's what they say the max is. It's phenomenal. The seat as well is absolutely very good too. It's a huge fat seat, and you have a little hole right here for your balls. So I actually like this seat. It's very comfortable, not having a single problem with it at all. I think it's one of the most comfortable bikes I've been on. But that's without saying the fact that we're gonna take it off road really quick and we're gonna see how it feels to go over a lot of nasty terrain. So let's do that real quick. But first, the hill test. This isn't the David brand new hill test. This is a little baby hill test. Now, I am going to start right at the bottom. It says we have 1200 watts. I'm expecting it to go up this, but the power is feeling very weird not being in the power level setting, like, well, the highest sports mode we can go on. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on. Oh man, we should have stopped that test. I'm pushing it. I gotta push it the rest of the way. Oh man, that's a little bit disappointing, Engwe. 1200 watts. Even in normal mode, it should still get up that. Huh, interesting. I guess you're gonna have to get a running start at this thing if you really wanna get up these hills. Let's go. Oh yeah, all right, there we go. We got it. I will say the suspension felt very nice coming up that as well. I gotta give props to Engwe for the suspension. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. We go from one con to one big pro about this bike. And that is definitely the suspension. Wow. Wow, this thing is nice. That has to be one of the best features of this is the suspension and obviously the dual battery setup. I'm very impressed right now, especially with the tire combo. I imagine the X26 is probably just as comfortable as well. But I can see the X20 being a little bit not as comfortable because it's going to be a little bit smaller of a tire, but it should still feel very similar. But this is nice. Oh yeah, this is going to be one for the books, man. I know the Rev 1 was a very high rating, and this is going to get a high rating as well. This is definitely like a 8.7 out of 10. Right under 9 out of 10. This is absolutely insanely comfortable. I know you guys might see you know, my hands going up and down, but for the most part, the seat in combination of the suspension, my body feels perfectly fine. I'm not having any jolting feelings rushing up through my body. It's very comfortable. That's impressive, actually. Good job, Engwe. Now, right here, I like to do the turning test and a brake test after that. So I've been kind of feeling how it is to turn. And surprisingly, with being a big bike and these tires, it's nice. Once you start your turn, it's a little resistant, but once you actually get the tire sideways, the tires kind of taper off to the side a little bit, and it turns beautifully. Just put a little bit of your weight into it. This thing turns like fantastic. No issues with turning at all. But these tires, on the other hand, are loud as hell. I can hear these tires so bad while going up and down the road. I want an electric bike that doesn't have this type of noise, but these are made for off-road and on-road, so they have to have the knobbies on there. So if you want to go to a street tire, you're gonna have to find a different 24-inch tire that's 4 inches wide, and that might be kind of costly, and it might be hard to find that type of tire. So just something to look out. And there's a guy on the trail. He's running now, but he's in the way of my brake test. So let's give him a second to walk and run, whatever he's gonna do down there, so you can look at this bike in the sun. Well, I guess the sun's, I don't know, the sun's directly above us, so the side's not gonna be too lit up. But at least you guys can see it outside of my garage. It's a beautiful looking bike. It's actually a weird looking bike, I would say, in my opinion. But I'm not mad at it. It's actually a pretty good bike. And it's under $2,000. And there's an early bird special as well for $100 off. And then you can use my coupon code as well. And my coupon code works on any of these bikes. So it works on the X24, and it will also work on the X26 if you guys want that one as well. It's been out for a little bit longer than this one. And it looks like we already got a, we got a thorn in the tire. Oh man, a little tiny one, but it got right in between the little knobbies. So hopefully that's okay. It didn't get in the actual tube, because I feel if we got one right here, I feel like it's just gonna puncture. But I think my biggest complaint about the bike so far is just this. And I guess it's not really a complaint about how the bike performs. It's just, why is this on here when there's no like pegs, and there's no way to put pegs right here? There's no hole. If they had a hole right here, I would make it understandable to go on Amazon and put some pegs right here. And I'm not gonna drill a hole in the bike, of course, you know, but I don't know, I'm just a little lost on that. And you also have these too, so you can change what, the air on them or something like that. Got a little shredder valve right there, all right. And then I think you can also move these as well. Yeah, so if you wanna have this thing higher, you can go as high as you want, but for me being 5'9", it's just too tall already. But that's definitely gonna give you more stiffer suspension if that's what you want as well, if you adjust that, so do that on your own preference. But I like it the way the bike came. I have everything set to the lowest. Yeah, so I have one click from the lowest, and I have this all the way down at the lowest as well too. So, all right, so let's try this brake test out. The guy is out of the way. Let's go. 27, let's at least get the 28. Come on, Engwe. 28, 27. All right, 27.7. Oh man, the brake test is the funnest test out of there. And what happened to my reflector? What happened? It's moving. Stay there, buddy, stay there. All right, so that's not bad. We've done some brake tests where we've actually been in front of that line, so we've ended up right there. And we've also done some tests where we've actually been farther from that line. But at the same time, we weren't even able to actually hit 28 miles per hour. We only were at 27.7. At 27 miles an hour, it's okay. It actually stopped pretty good. Not complaining about it whatsoever. What I do want to say about the brakes is that the brake handles, the hydraulic brakes up here, they feel great. What up, guy? But the brake pads themselves feel nasty. So I'm not a big fan of the brake pads because they have like a grinding noise to them. But these up here feel awesome in the hands and they feel great. But I feel like this bike can really benefit from a brake pad upgrade. I don't know exactly what fits in there. You're gonna have to look up the pads once you take them out and go on Amazon. You can probably pick some up for like 20 bucks and you get some really, really good ones. But yeah, so that's the only complaint I think I had about the brakes, but they're gonna stop you regardless. Not too bad, especially with the knobbies. Just try not to slam on your brakes too hard because you don't wanna wear down the knobbies because you can literally slide for about a good 20 feet and then you have a completely bald spot on the tire. So try not to do that because tires like this are not cheap. Let's go off one of these curves real quick. Oh, wow, wow. That was super nice. I felt like I was on a BMX bike with full suspension, like the new Zeus bike that just came out with the full suspension. That was smooth. That was actually one of the best bikes jumping off the curb. Real quick before I get ahead of myself though, we'd like to see how fast these pedals react. I'm not gonna change anything in the settings. I don't know if you even can, but I'm gonna go off of how the bike ships out factory to you guys. So let's try out these pedals real quick. So 1, 2, 3. Oh man, what a delay. What a delay, come on. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. Horrible, that's like a 2-second delay, come on. All right, here we go, 1, 2, 3 again. Oh, I'm not a big fan about that. Oh my God, what is that, like 2 to 3 seconds? I don't know, if you guys are counting at home, that's bad. That's safe, but it's not good because I feel like it should activate at least within like a second or at least half a second, but man, all right. So anyway, let's go on to the throttle and see how responsive that is. That's pretty responsive, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's about half a second. That's where you would want it to be. There we go. Yeah, I like that. It's not instant, but it's not laggy whatsoever. That feels perfectly fine, but the pedals, man, if you had to get across the street or get out of the way of somebody, do not rely on the pedals at all. Make sure you have your throttle intact and you're ready to hit that. Here's another minor complaint about the bike, and it's something you can fix within like, I would say a minute, is see how this shifter is? The shifter is very close to the grip because you want to be able to shift your gears as soon as possible and be real close to you, but it's too close. If you guys can see, it's actually going into the grip, and I don't like that. So as I'm trying to put my hand placement on it, this is digging into my thumb right there. So if you can see that, I'm not a big fan. So I would just get an Allen and I would loosen it up and I would move it slightly away from the grips, because you're really not going to be shifting up and down through these gears a lot. And if you are, then just leave it in the stock location. But see how far this comes out? Like your thumb is supposed to go right there, and I'm not a big fan. So you just loosen this up, slide it over ever so slightly so this stops like right here, and you should be good. But let's continue on the way. 25 miles an hour, about to jump off the curb. Butter, absolutely butter. This thing is just, even going super fast. Oh man, no, this suspension is wonderful, man. I've never been on a bike that has 3 forms of suspension. It's phenomenal. Now it does add weight to the bike though, I will say, along with the secondary battery. I might have said that already. So this bike is not light whatsoever. It's very heavy. This bike is heavier than the Ride One Up Rev 1 e-bike that I've been promoting. It's 1 pound heavier at 93 pounds, just to give you an idea. But I will say that's actually pretty impressive compared to it having 2 batteries with 30 amp hours almost in total, compared to the Ride One Up that only has a 20 amp hour battery. But I would have liked to seen this bike be 52 volt. I feel like going into 2024, I feel like all bikes should just switch over to 52 volt. Now, some of the cheaper bikes should stay at like 36 and 48 volt, you know, just to be on the like kid-friendly side. But I feel like everyone wants a bike that's 52 volt because we all need the speed and power to go up hills. I don't really have that problem around here, but most people that live in San Francisco or LA, you're definitely gonna want a bike that has some power to get up hills. And even though this does have a 1,000 watt motor with a peak of 1,200 watts, but I'm also seeing like 1,350, 1,450 on the display right here, if that's reading accurate, I just feel like it's not enough power to go up hills. You already saw we tried it didn't work. It was a little bit disappointing, I will say. And I gotta admit, I'm actually pretty impressed by the range I'm getting so far. I got the secondary battery on here, and we're down to 96%, and it doesn't even look like it's going off a voltage sag, which thank you, Engwe, for not doing the display off a voltage sag. That is so awesome for you guys to do that, because I hate seeing right now like 40 or 50%, and then when I let off, it jumps up to 95% or something like that. I hate that. So I'm glad they didn't do that on this bike. Just a little test. Let's take this battery off and let's see how far our battery goes down. So 96, 95. All right, so as my battery bar is going down, because I wanted to see where our percentage is at, look, I was able to get the bike back in sports mode. All I did is hold the I button again. I don't understand. I don't get this bike at all. That's so weird. But we only went down to 92%, so we gained what, like 6% with having the secondary battery on there. But I mean, that is a total overall like percentage. But all right, so anyways, we're in sports mode again, so let's have fun while we can. I'm not taking it out of sports mode because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it back into sports mode. But it's very weird, if you turn on both batteries, can you not put it in sports mode? Because that's what it seems like. But now we're going faster, 29 miles an hour. We're gonna hit 30, there's 30. So now we're gonna get our 31 miles per hour that they say we can get. Definitely takes a while to get up to speed though. 30 miles an hour, 30 and a half. Come on, 31, you can do it. It was right there and it's going backwards now. Come on, 30.4. I'm on the straightest street I can be on, 30.1. Well, if you're lighter, you're definitely gonna get 31 miles per hour. Let me see you guys back at the house. I'll give you guys my final conclusion on this bike, and then I'll let you guys go on about your day. But wait a minute, real quick before I do that, let me turn the other battery on while it's in sports mode and see if it changes. If you guys can see this, where is that? I'm trying to reach for it with my hands. All right, here it is, 1, 2, 3. The second battery's on and we're in sports mode still. I don't know, it's working now. It's very odd, but we're still not getting any more speed out of it. Nothing seems to change. 31, there we go. Oh, 32. It just randomly spurted and just started wanting to go faster. Now it's almost wanting to hit 33. What the hell happened? What changed, Engwe? What changed? All of a sudden I just heard the motor just kind of like rev up a little bit higher RPM and it just started going faster. I don't know what the hell's going on with this bike. All right, so wait, hold on again. Oh man, this is great, man. This is great entertainment. So it kicked us back out of sports mode and we're down in the normal mode and I didn't do anything. I didn't change anything. I didn't hit no button or nothing. So I don't know, can it like not sustain like sports mode 24/7? Is it like a heat thing or I don't know, it's weird. All right, so the final thoughts on this bike is that, for one, very comfortable. One of the most comfortable bikes I've been on. Huge range out of this bike as well because it's not the most powerful. It has a very slow takeoff, so that might be a pro or con to you depending on how you like to ride. I like to ride fast, so it was a little bit slower than my liking. The sports mode, don't understand how that's working. I'm assuming it's going off of if it can put out that type of power depending on the heat. I have no idea, but that was a little bit of annoying. It was kind of funny, but if I owned this bike, I would get a little bit upset with that going off over and over and over, like going back to normal mode. But normal mode or sports mode, we were still able to hit 30 to 31 miles per hour top speed. I do like the bike overall. I'm gonna say that it's gonna depend on preference if you guys like a bike like this or not, because it looks kind of funky in a way if you ask me. It's very big and bulky. That's another con I want to say, is that if you are short, Engwe says people that are 5'2" can get on this bike. And honestly, I'm not going to recommend that. I'm going to say you at least need to be like 5'6" or 5'7", because like I said, when I showed you earlier in the video, me getting on it, I'm on my tippy toes. Now, if you are a shorter person, you can lean the bike to the side and you can have this foot hanging. So if you guys can see that, you could do this, like one of these. A lot of people do that at lights and stuff like that, but it's kind of uncomfortable. You normally want to have a bike that you can actually sit on comfortably and not fight for it to like fall over on side to side. So that's the only thing I would say about this. So if you guys do like these series of bikes, they are probably going to be coming out with an X20, so you guys can maybe purchase that. My code works on anything. I'll have it down in the description if you guys want to purchase that. The brakes were good. Tires felt fine. A little worried about getting flats on them. The display was great. It was actually accurate. We confirmed that. I did 7 miles on this bike, and let me turn it on real quick and I will tell you what we ended up at, because I have both batteries on right now and it says 98%. But realistically, as we were riding, I think it said 96%, because I was right by the house when we stopped recording. And that's not bad. 4% for 7 miles is absolutely insane. Now, it might go a little faster depending on your weather situation too. So colder weather with electric bikes, this is definitely gonna go down faster in battery life compared if it's hot or not. But the only thing I just don't understand with this bike, and maybe I'll never understand it, I watched some video reviews of it already because I wanted to see what this thing was for. What is this seat for? Now, it's an extra piece and you could put it on or not put it on, and then you could put a basket back here if you don't put the seat on, but I don't understand it. Or is that just to protect the frame so you can put the basket on top of this seat? I have no idea. Or is it even made to be a seat? I don't know, but that's just a question that I don't understand. But if you guys like this bike and you guys are interested in it, please consider like using the discount codes and stuff that I have down there. I'll put it on the screen as well. And then also, I'll do a separate video of this. I'll take it to work and we'll just see how it is to commute, if maybe it's something you're looking to take to your workplace, and just see how it is. And we'll do a slightly longer trip, which will be about 14 miles. And then we'll see where both our batteries are. So I'm gonna put it on the charger and get it ready for the next video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys are true MVPs. Peace out.